Hello, I'm Mike James, Marketing and Communications Manager for Nugent, and I'm here with Normandie Wragg, who is the CEO of Nugent. We're here today on the first anniversary of our rebrand, which took place in September last year.
Yes.
So we thought we'd get together and just have a little conversation about why we rebranded last year and the reasons behind that and the impact it's had on the organisation across the past year. So Normandie, can you tell us a bit about the background to the rebrand last year?
Well, it actually started about a year and a half before that.
Mm-hmm.
We had gone around and we were having some consultations with staff and stakeholders and service users around the values of our organisation, which eventually ended up being I-Accord. But during that particular exercise, we did a SWOT analysis with our staff. And one of the weaknesses that they said about our organisation is that we did great work within the community, but not many people knew about us as an organisation. They may have known us in the adult sector or the children's sector, but didn't really appreciate how wide of an organisation that we were. And part of this, they said, was linked to the way that we presented ourselves externally. So we started thinking about, okay, maybe we need to do a rebrand as well as a refresh on our particular values. And it kind of snowballed a bit from there.
Yeah.
So we started going from increasing the profile to a total rebrand, which wasn't the original intention. We meant to originally, if you remember, we were speaking at the time to refresh the brand.
Absolutely.
But then it just got wider. And the other piece that was really important to that is that we have many services around Nugent. So we do caring services, we do community services, we do residential services, we provide education. And some of the staff that were at the external sites were saying, well, we're not really carers. We don't provide care. We provide education, or we provide community services, or we provide this or that. And the connection with the name wasn't really resonating with them.
Yes, absolutely.
So when we commissioned Mashbone Bread to do some research into our brand, they came back with some feedback that said, well, people would like to feel more inclusive, and this is one of the ways that we could enable more staff to feel inclusive and also let the wider community know about all the great things we do. So now we have Nugent Education, Nugent Residential, Nugent Family, what did I miss? Nugent Education, Nugent Support. And so that is really important. And what was actually new to this particular rebrand was the inclusion of support. Support services are essential to frontline services because it allows the frontline services to concentrate on the service users rather than perhaps doing some of the things that could be rather supported by someone in the back office. So that's proved to be very successful, and that's been really realized when we've had regulation inspections, so Officer of CPC.
Absolutely. Yes, because obviously we've had our two schools, Nugent House School and Clarence High School, have both had recent inspections and both been given the good status, which is amazing.
It's
and
great.
has re-energised both schools actually. But it's also, I feel that's part of, as you say, the impact of the new brand and the confidence we now have as an organisation.
Absolutely. And I think, some of the feedback when I go visit services is that people feel a greater sense of pride working for the organisation. We have staff that have worked for the organisation for 46 years. Hi, Sister Ben. And also staff that are just brand new to the organisation, and that great sense of pride and belonging, that's something that is having such a great impact on the local community and helping people either start their lives off on a better foot or to end their lives in a really dignified way. And it really resonates throughout the staff group. And we've won awards, which is
absolutely
also a really great thing.
We, thanks to Mashbone putting us in for an award last year, within a month of launching the brand, we actually won the Northern Enterprise Award for digital services, which was phenomenal in terms of the work we'd done for the year and a half trying to get it in place, and actually having it in place and then receiving that was a really good indication that we'd done good work and we'd actually made the right decisions about how we looked and how our organisation now feels.
Absolutely. And I think that the recognition for the staff is paramount, because every single day we have staff that are spending time away from their own families in order to look after the loved ones that they care for on a daily basis. So the service users, the older people, the young children. And to be able to have a brand that recognizes and gives value to that great work that happens at the front line is so key. Because without our staff doing all that great work at the front line, we would have no reason to exist.
Yes, indeed. And also I think there have been other impacts across the organisation in terms of our ability to actually talk better about what we do and actually have the right language in place to talk about what we do. And a good example of that was at the recent Children's Commissioning Conference, where we kind of launched the brand there for the first time in front of children's commissioners.
Yes.
And the feedback we had was amazing in terms of how fresh and new and modern we looked in a way, which is quite a significant thing for Nugent. But also the impact that's had on the relationships we've now been able to build up across the last year or so with commissioners. And that's all come out of the same kind of ethos around the vision and the mission and the aims and objectives that the brand now upholds and projects forwards. Exactly.
And this year we'll be finishing off the brand rollout.
Absolutely, yes.
So that we have all the signs at all the front line with the new branding, which will be great.
So that's the next big bit is new signs for all our services, new signs within our services, and new brochures and print and information for our services as well, which will just wrap everything up and mean that all our services are then brought into the new brand, and we'll be a great happy family, hopefully.
Yeah, I think it's a great start to even more greater and grander things for the organisation in terms of raising our profile and being able to help more and more people than we already do. It's a good time. It's an exciting time.
Indeed. So this time next year we'll be back to tell you more about that, hopefully. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you, and thank you to all of our staff and stakeholders and supporters out there in the community. We really appreciate you. Thank you.